What up, nerds? My name is Leslie Smith. Welcome to the Nerdy Narrative and another weekly wrap-up. Did a lot of audiobooking this last week. What I have been reading or listening to. First up, I did finish This Charming Man by C.K. McDonald on audiobook. Brendan McDonald is a new favorite narrator. He is amazing, just absolutely brilliant. This Charming Man is book 2 in C.K. McDonald's paranormal thriller series, The Stranger Times. This is a series about people who work at a newspaper, and their job is to report on the weird and the wacky. There is an ulterior motive that they are not aware of behind that, but in this installment of the series, in addition to writing the newspaper, they're also looking into the sudden outbreak of vampires in Manchester, as well as who is trying to kidnap one of the employees of the newspaper. It's so good. Besides the mystery and the thriller part of it, there is so much humor, and I guess I shouldn't be surprised by that. The author, C.K. McDonald, or Queeve McDonald is his full name, he is a former Irish stand-up comedian. So of course he's perfected the art of storytelling, especially adding humor in just the right ways. Now I did finish that. Ev turned around and sent me the first 2 books in C.K. McDonald's crime thriller series, A Man with One of Those Faces. Now, this one is a little bit different from The Stranger Times. This one was written before that one. There's still humor, not quite the same type of humor as in The Stranger Times, which I appreciate. I'm glad it's differentiated, but there's still a lot of well-timed, well-placed humor that is just so good. I love it. It just really flavors it. But how he uses the humor in this one, he does it, especially when you're meeting a character, he does it in such a way, like it's 1 or 2 lines describing that character, and you do not ever forget that about that character. It really makes them stand out as individuals. I don't know how to explain it other than that, but it's just absolutely brilliant. I love it. I love it in a different type of way. Like, it is a 5-star read in a different way from the Stranger Times series. Now, this crime thriller series is written under his name, Queeve McDonald. But I will have both of the series linked down below if you want to check them out. Highly recommend the audiobook. Now, the crime thriller series doesn't have Brendan McDonald, but Morgan C. Jones does me justice. I am not mad at him, especially when he does the voice of Bunny McGarry. Now, Bunny McGarry, I believe, has his own trilogy by Queeve McDonald, and you can bet I'm going to be listening to that series next. So I also started and finished The Tunnel by Joseph Sale. This is a 186-page book. You're not gonna fly through it. It is so, I want to say intricately written, but I don't want you to think it's complicated. It's not complicated. It is packed with feeling and emotion. And it's so funny because I read the back and it's talking about how there's a serial killer loose in London, and they're thinking that it's possibly the reincarnation of Jack the Ripper. Well, I won't tell you that conspiracy theory. That one's fun to discover as you read. And so I'm thinking I'm going to be reading this serial killer story. And it started out with a young girl and her sort of obsession with this tunnel. And she finally gets up the nerve to go in the tunnel, and there's something that happens that is life-changing. So I was confused. I was like, well, now wait a minute. This seems to be this girl's journey. Where's the serial killer? Jack the Ripper does make an appearance. And how the 2 different storylines are separate and how they converge is... I absolutely was stunned at what Joseph Sale did in this. And just 186 pages. It was so well written. Joseph Sale is a master wordsmith. Sometimes I found myself just going back and rereading paragraphs and sentences over and over just because of how beautifully written it was, how well it captured what was happening with that character or a moment in the story. If you told me I had to describe this book to you in one sentence, that one sentence would be Jaws with Claws. I will be filming a dedicated review, so keep your eyes peeled on the channel for that to be coming up in the coming weeks. What else did I read? That takes care of all that I have finished reading. Of course, I already told you I was reading A Man with One of Those Faces by Queve McDonald. I also started The Shadow of the Gods by John Gwynne. I'm only a couple of chapters in. I had a few minutes to read this morning. That's all I was able to get in. Chapter 1 of Shadow of the Gods, John Gwynne mastered the art of capturing his readers' undivided attention. It was amazing. I am so excited to be getting back into John Gwynne. The reason why I'm reading this one now, I was very fortunate to be approved for the ARC for book 2, which will be out very, very soon. When does this one come out? May? Maybe April? I have no idea. Guys, I don't know what day it is anymore. But really, I'm not far enough in to have an opinion of where I think this one's gonna go for me. But I did really enjoy the first 2 chapters, and I do typically love John Gwynne. I don't believe I've read anything by him that I did not absolutely enjoy or think was top-notch. That will take care of everything that I have read this week, what I'm still working on, as far as what I will get into next. I am planning to pick up First Writer's Call by Kristen Britton. This is the 2nd book in the Green Rider series. The channel Feeny Reads is hosting a Green Rider read-along. I fell behind just due to planning too much at once as usual, but they've put a 1-month hold on the series, so I'm going to do my best to try and catch up to the group. So if I can read this one this month and get the 3rd one read next month, I think that's going to put me back on schedule with them. I really enjoyed the first book in the series, Green Rider. It didn't start off as a hit for me, but it only took a few chapters, and I feel like the author just really found her groove with her writing style and just the technique of storytelling that she chose, and I ended up absolutely loving it. So I'm very excited to continue this series. I'm very glad for the opportunity to hopefully catch up to the read-along. So here's hope. Due to a few books not working out for me that were on my TBR this month, that allows me time to slot this one in, so very fortunate there. And that's gonna do it for me for this week. I hope you all are having a great week. Guys, do me a favor, stop and just take a minute and be happy for your health and your family's health, and take really good care of each other, and I will see you guys next week.